My name is Awaliszewska. I'm a DevRel at Concordium. I tend to speak very fast, so don't be scared of showing me or throwing something at me if you can understand me. But yeah, welcome to the presentation. Today we're going to talk about consensus mechanism and how it works in Concordium. I actually was for the first time in Croatia 10 years ago as a young and careless student. We were going with a bunch of friends, or actually people I barely knew back then, but with 9 people in a bus. We were going through Balkans, and it was quite exciting, but it has a lot of issues when you organize stuff like that. It's who's gonna drive, where are we gonna sleep, are we okay to be there, because it's illegal actually in Croatia to sleep on the beach. So, not even mentioning that I actually smuggled a cat from Montenegro, and, well, my friends had to agree to it. So that's why I put a subtitle to this presentation, because I'm gonna speak quite a lot of this trip, because I think it explains well the consensus mechanism, when you have 9 strangers to have to agree on something, and that's exactly how it really works there. Actually, I just wanted to check something on mine, because I was very surprised to coming to Croatia after the 10 years, especially with your drink, PP, which is sponsor of this event. I'm from Poland, but I live in Scandinavia. We have different PP over there. But, well, didn't know that Fanta needs a rebrand for adults, but, well, I guess one is appropriating a Swedish culture icon, and another is supporting genocide, so I guess I still choose PP over it. But yeah, with that, let's talk about the consensus, if I made some of you uncomfortable by now. So, with the consensus mechanism, it's exactly like this road trip. We have to make a lot of choices. Are we going to use the bedroom? Where are we going to sleep? Is our car going to actually make it also up when we went down the hill? Spoiler alert, it's not always did. It was kind of hard. It was old car. We didn't have much money. We were on a budget. We were students, OK? Also, we had to decide if we're going to actually take a bath in a car station, or actually at some actual bathroom, or just go to the car wash, which ones we actually did. Yeah, not the greatest time of my life, but it happened. So, with all that in mind, blockchains, the nodes vote on their next block or transaction. And the traditional methods like proof of stake or proof of work usually work on the level that proof of work, we're just wrestling who has the strongest power wins, and if the proof of stake, it's more like a popularity contest. So the more influence you have, the better you're working on the consensus, which leads to centralization. So with that in mind, what Concordium has to do with all of that? So with Concordium, we're using the ConcordiumBFT, revamped version of that, which is the Byzantine Fault Tolerance. And it's consensus mechanism made to be secured, and even if some parts of the transaction, or some nodes behave maliciously or fail, still the majority can overcome it, and we can have a secure consensus. So let's imagine my back doesn't hurt, and I'm not in my 30s now, so I don't need a good hotel. I can still sleep in a tent. And I'm redoing this trip all over again. But not all my friends are reliable, OK? We all have those friends that just bring havoc to the party. They're super fun, but they're probably going to be late, and they're going to have a beer before it's their turn to drive a car. So with that in mind, using the ConcordiumBFT, we can actually secure a decision, even if we can rely on all the nodes. And then the majority part of it can overcome that part. So BFT ensures that as long as we have the majority, that it's trustworthy, the group can still make a good decision. And with the difference between, what's the difference between ConcordiumBFT and traditional BFT? It's mostly on the phases. In traditional BFT, we have three phases, consensus, while in Concordium we have two. So we can make it more reliable, more secure, efficient, like speeding up the process. So what is like under the hood with that? The new version of the BFT that Concordium provides must suppose like work faster and smoother. So it's like updating, I guess, from a paper map that we were using, although when I was there, we still had GPS, but just one of the drivers really refused to use it, so we were lost most of the time. So yeah, it's like a upgrade to GPS. We are using runs instead of time slots, which allows us to be more flexible. We are not like run by like, oh, this is our schedule. We can have like more flexible decisions and like decide in each stop like what's working best for us based on the traffic conditions, and not like be on like, oh, we are not taking a bus on the fixed schedule. We have our own bus with us. I hope it makes sense, and I hope don't speak too fast. So yeah, good for me. Let's try more. We also have the quorum and timeout certificate. So again, if some friends are late or cannot decide, you have those like very undecided friends, we can still, based on the majority agreement, make the next decision on our trip. And at the end, we have also the transaction confirmation of the consensus, which makes sure that like we have instant feedback of what is happening. And the benefits for the developer like point of view, it's for sure the security. We can also, especially that with Concordium, we have built-in identity layer that allows us to provide information without necessarily relieving them to the parties that are not supposed to see them. So let's say we want a party that everyone is 18 years old, because we're going to have beers in the trunk. And we don't want to ask every one of us, but with Concordium, we can actually retrieve if everyone is 18. Without retrieving who is not, or any other information about them. The faster transactions. So, checking to the two phases, the user can avoid the queues and get like the quick confirmation of what's going on. And then we have also the scalability. As the user base grows, the network can handle more transactions without slowing it down. So yeah, like, I guess taking a highway over like a back road because it was cheaper. In real life, we can use a few like real-world application examples. So in financial services, we could have like transfer the money instantly. You're probably mostly aware of that way of working. So we don't have to wait for an hours with ConcordiumBFT. That's like the real power that the BFT in action has. The supply chain management, so with delivery, for example, we can ensure where the packages were supposed to be and when it's going to get to the recipient. And for example, in healthcare, we can get to the patient's data without relieving all of these patients. We can have better patients, like security of their data. So it's like a vault with multiple security checkouts that will allow you to get only the right information. So this is very like a dummy act, and I know because like I just realized that I spoke very fast and we have lots of time in coming. But that's like a very cute, like short sneak peek about what ConcordiumBFT consensus is. And with that in mind, I invite you to join me in an hour for a workshop where I'm going to speak more about the smart contract. It's also very dummy-proof, no prior experience required. So if you're like a good developer, like probably avoid it because it's going to be very, very basic. It's going to be like explaining the core of what smart contract is, and we're going to like set up an environment. But other than that, we're going to speak about like cool stuff that we have on Concordium, like Academy, which is educational tool, but also a tool that can allow you to like master your skills and even win rewards for our most advanced challenge that we have on the website. We offer up to $3,000 worth of CCDs, which is the coin that is used on Concordium to fire transactions. So I think it's worth a shot and look, at least for the reward. Other than that, we also have certificates. But more on the Concordium Academy, it's going to be on this workshop. So I am very much inviting you to join me there. And yeah, so far, thank you for your time. You can scan this QR code. It's going to go to my virtual ID that you can connect with me, but also see more information about Concordium. There's also a link to the Concordium Academy, to the white paper. You can read much more information about the consensus mechanism that we're working on. And with that in mind, thank you so much. If there are any questions on the way, I will try my best to answer, although I'm super stressed, so please don't be terrible to me.
It's not really a question. I'm just wondering, like, is the workshop in some other room, or? Like,
yes, in the smart space, just like outside, and nearby, like the sofas that are outside, there's this small co-working area, I guess.
Right.
So yeah, not in this building, but like the building, not the next door, but the next after that.
Right. Okay.
Anyone else? Like, it's fun if you're hungover, if you don't want to. Like, I could take a rest between that too, but go ahead if you have. No? Then cool. Thank you so much for listening tonight. And yeah. Have a good rest of the BlockSplit event, and see you on the other panels, talks, and workshops. Thank you so much.